JBN, we keep you informed. Police monitor Olympic Gardens following shooting of Pilly Blacks. The St. Andrew South Police are monitoring sections of the Olympic Gardens community in the police division following the shooting of a well-known businessman and alleged area leader from the area. Sources have identified the man as Pilly Blacks. Blacks is reportedly the owner of Pilly Blacks Plaza in Olympic Gardens. Blacks is also a well-known party promoter and a property developer. According to the police, Blacks was shot shortly before 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon, September 12, at a gas station at the corner of Mullines Road and Washington Boulevard. St. Elizabeth man dies after motorbike crashes into utility pole. A St. Elizabeth man on Friday died as a result of injuries he received in a motor vehicle crash on the Comer Pen Main Road in the parish. He has been identified as 55-year-old Samuel Thomas, otherwise called Sydney, a welder of the Comer Pen district. Reports from the Junction Police are that about 5:30 p.m., Thomas was driving his motorcycle along the road in an easterly direction. It is alleged that he lost control of the motorcycle and crashed into a utility pole. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Popular fisherman Garth Braun shot and killed in Montego Bay. A popular Montego Bay fisherman was shot and killed by gunmen in Albion, Montego Bay, St. James on Friday, September 13. He has been identified as 53-year-old Garth Braun, otherwise called Wingy, a fisherman and painter of First Street in Albion and Catherine Hall. Reports are that about 3:45 p.m. residents heard gunshots being fired in the area and went to investigate. Braun was discovered lying along a section of the roadway in a pool of blood, with multiple gunshot wounds to his head and body. The police were summoned. On their arrival, it was discovered that Braun had been shot over 10 times. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue. 2 men arrested for illegal guns and ammo. 2 men are now in custody after they were allegedly held with illegal guns and ammunition in separate incidents on Friday. One of the men has been identified as Jamie Stevenson, 26, a construction worker who is from Mansfield Heights in Otoraya, St. Anne. He is facing charges of illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. The identity of the other man has not been released. The police report that Stevenson arose the suspicion of a team that was on patrol in the resort town of Otoraya. He was accosted on search and a high-point Luger 9mm pistol with 3 rounds of ammunition allegedly taken from him. The other man was searched after he reportedly attempted to elude a police team that was on patrol in Greenwich District, Westmoreland. The police say he was searched and a Taurus 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 6 rounds of ammunition found in his possession. Road deaths top 300 again. For a 7th straight year, Jamaica has failed to keep road deaths below the target of 300. Despite a number of initiatives aimed at reducing the carnage on the roads, the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport reports that 302 persons have died on the nation's roadways this year, with just over 3 months remaining. This is a 16% jump when compared with the 261 road fatalities recorded over the corresponding period last year, according to the latest figures published by the Road Safety Unit. The last time Jamaica recorded under 300 road deaths was in 2012, when 260 persons died on the nation's roadways. Last year, a total of 389 persons died in motor vehicle crashes. The Road Safety Unit has also revised the number of road deaths recorded in August upwards from 26 to 30. The revised figure means that Jamaica has recorded 30 or more road fatalities every month since the start of the year. The figures reveal too road deaths have increased across several categories of road users, including children, the elderly, pedestrians, and motorcyclists. According to the Road Safety Unit, 21 children and 92 motorcyclists have died in crashes this year, increases of 31% and 48% respectively when compared with the similar period last year. Bus driver and a taxi operator arrested for 1,100 outstanding traffic tickets. A bus driver and a taxi operator who have a total of 1,100 outstanding traffic tickets have been arrested by the police. The taxi operator has been identified as 26-year-old Cleveland Dockery of an Arnett Gardens address in St. Andrew, while the bus driver has been identified as 53-year-old Ron Williams of Crescent Road in Kingston. The Police Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTB, alleged that Dockery attempted to use altered documents to retrieve his car and was also charged with forgery uttering forged documents, and conspiracy to deceive. He was also charged for not having motor vehicle insurance coverage. According to the PSTB, Williams was arrested about 4 p.m. on Friday after he was stopped by the police along Slipe Road. The PSTB said checks revealed that Williams had over 1,000 unpaid traffic tickets and that 3 warrants had been issued for his arrest. He is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and St. Andrew Traffic Court on Monday. Dockery was reportedly stopped by the police along Halfway Tree Road in St. Andrew and issued with a document for operating contrary to the terms of his road license, which resulted in his car being seized. The police alleged that he made alterations to the document, then tried to retrieve the vehicle. The PSTB said he was arrested after checks revealed that the document was forged. Further checks revealed that Dockery had over 100 unpaid traffic tickets since 2018, for which 10 warrants were issued for his arrest, the PSTB said. He is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and St. Andrew Traffic Court on Monday for the traffic offences, and before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on September 25 for the forgery-related charges. The owner of the vehicle Dockery was driving was also charged with aiding and abetting, no motor vehicle insurance coverage, and is to appear before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Traffic Court on September 27. His name was not disclosed. Efforts underway to locate 33 Jamaicans in the Bahamas, said Johnson Smith. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is trying to make contact with 33 of 48 Jamaicans whose families have asked for assistance in locating their relatives in the hurricane-ravaged Bahamas. Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Kamina Johnson Smith made the disclosure on Friday while giving an update on the status of Jamaicans living and working in the Bahamas, the northwestern section, which took a direct hit from Category 5 Hurricane Dorian nearly 2 weeks ago. According to officials, at least 50 people have been killed and over 1,000 are reported missing. The slow-moving hurricane devastated the Abaco Islands and large parts of Grand Bahama Island, leaving at least 73,000 people homeless. Telecommunications and electricity supply were also disrupted, and large areas remain underwater. Johnson Smith said 1,500 Jamaicans live and work in the Bahamas. I can say that we have received requests to locate 48 persons, and we are pleased to say that we have located 15 who are in good health and in different locations. And we continue to make efforts to locate the others, she told the fellow senators on Friday, as the Upper House resumed sittings after the summer break. Johnson Smith, who is also leader of government business in the Senate, said the matter is complicated by the fact that the Bahamas is not necessarily registering persons by nationality. So when persons have been evacuated, they have just been evacuating based on vulnerability and based on location. They have just been moving people out. There is now underway a more detailed engagement and assessments at the human level, she said. However, Johnson Smith cautioned that there are certain sensibilities because of the immigration issues with which the Bahamas contends. As it relates to the Abaco Islands, Johnson Smith said, "We had estimated prior to the hurricane that we had approximately 1,500 Jamaicans there working, and perhaps a few more in Grand Bahama, but in terms of any formal register, there is none. Accordingly, we really have to be working with the community, circulating names, taking names where persons call and say we have heard from this person, or we know this, or this person has been in the shelter," Johnson Smith explained. She said the situation is as challenging for the Jamaican authorities as it is for the Bahamian authorities. Meanwhile, the Foreign Affairs Minister said Jamaica's Honorary Consul in the Bahamas, Terrell Butler, has provided a list of 32 Jamaicans known to have been evacuated. She said Butler was helping to identify family and friends who have contacted the ministry and also helping to coordinate relief efforts with Jamaicans on the ground and to identify Jamaicans who have been affected by the hurricane and may need assistance. Also, she said a Jamaican national has opened a private building for persons needing assistance, and that mattresses, food, and other supplies have been provided to 21 persons, including children. Additionally, Johnson Smith said Jamaican doctors in Nassau are also making themselves available to assist. She said the ministry was working closely with the Honorary Consul to determine the type of assistance that may be required, including persons in need of urgent travel documents, communication with their families, and other needs on the ground. State of emergency hurting Clarendon businesses, says Barneswell. The state of emergency now in operation in Clarendon took center stage at Thursday's monthly meeting of the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. Sean Barneswell, counsel for the 8th Division, said while he welcomed the declaration of a state of emergency SOE in the parish, there have been numerous complaints. He said the SOE is impacting businesses with its mandatory 9 p.m. closure time. For some persons, that's the time they start to see some increase in their revenue intake for the respective businesses that they're doing, he said, pointing out that the good is suffering with the bad. Barneswell said the effort is not only being felt by the man who drug stricken in the street, but KFC, the gas stations, and other places which would have had extended opening hours. What I was hoping for, however, is that with the data gathering, the police and the security forces would have known where the perpetrators are located or the troubled spots, and instead of the entire parish, would have cordoned off those troubled communities and see how best we can be able to put in place effective policing instead of everybody having to be inconvenienced in this approach, he said. Counsel for the Croftsdale Division, Anthony O'Connor, in pointing out that the SOE will not last forever to mitigate crime in the parish, challenged the team to put together a crime plan. When the SOE would have gone, we can keep the parish in the same manner as it has been kept since last Thursday, he said. DSP William Davis, in giving an update on the SOE, said since it was announced, 110 persons have been interviewed by the police, and of that number, 15 were remanded at the detention center located at the Tambrin Farm Adult Correctional Center in St. Catherine. Davis said 95 persons were released of the 110 interviewed. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.